Okay, now we're going to take a look at step 5. After you've completed step 4, the only thing you're going to have left is this solution that we set aside after centrifuging and decanting in step 1. So we're going to go ahead and begin by neutralizing this solution from procedure 1 by adding ammonia water until it's basic. The only way that we're going to know it's basic is when red litmus paper becomes blue. So I'm going to get out a few pieces of red litmus paper. I'll get out a couple here. Sometimes we have to add quite a bit of ammonia before it turns basic. So I'm going to take the ammonia water, the NH3, and every time I add the ammonia, it's important to stir it well from top to bottom. Now, of course, I'm going to work a little faster here than what you guys might want to, because I know exactly what it is I'm looking for. As we add the ammonia, what you'll notice is as it starts to get close to being basic, a precipitate will form in the top portion of the solution. It's kind of a rust-colored precipitate. Upon stirring it, oftentimes that precipitate will start to disappear. We need to make sure that the entire solution is basic, meaning from top to bottom. So if I stir well, and I test that litmus paper, that red litmus paper, it's still red, so it's not basic yet. Now, as I stir this, I don't have a lot of room left, and what I may end up needing to do is split this into 2 test tubes. So let me add a bit more ammonia. And stir it real well. And I'll test again. But that red litmus paper is still red. And there's really not much more room to add any more ammonia. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and split this into 2 separate test tubes. I want to make sure that I've stirred it well from top to bottom so the top and the bottom portion are the same, so that as I pour it out into a second test tube, what I have in one test tube compared to the other test tube, they're identical. So I'm going to take a pencil here, and on one of the test tubes I'm going to write 5. I'm in step 5. It is not yet basic, but I'm going to go ahead and set that second one aside and come back to it later if I need to. In case I mess up, I break a test tube, I add the wrong solution. With this first one, I can always come back to the second one and pick up where I left off. But I'm going to continue on to make this solution basic. As we put in ammonia and we see that rust-colored precipitate, it needs to be basic throughout the entire solution. And as I test that red litmus paper, it has turned blue. So it's basic, but we need to read and continue on. Add 1 milliliter more of ammonia water and add 1 milliliter of ammonium chloride and stir it thoroughly. So I'm going to add an excess milliliter, a little bit less than 1 finger, so with ammonia, and a milliliter of ammonium chloride, and stir that up real well. Okay. Make sure it's the same from top to bottom. Okay, now it says that we're going to centrifuge and decant, so we'll get another test tube as a blank, fill it with an equal amount of water. Put it into the centrifuge, let it run for a bit, and as always, we'll be able to separate that precipitate that was forming from the solution that it's in, and we'll get the precipitate at the bottom, the solution at the top, and then we'll be able to decant. As we read ahead, it says that we're going to save the decantate, the liquid, for procedure step 10. And we'll treat the precipitate in procedure step 6. So we'll be done with step 5 here in just a moment, but we'll have 2 test tubes, one for step 10 and one for step 6.